Hill. We're Bristol. We're using a new setup, which I got to run a version of it, and it was really fast, but it didn't go my way terribly. But I somehow picked up about a tenth a second on the front end, and it seems to be about 2 to 3 tenths on the back end. And I'm quite happy about that. Unfortunately, the handling sucks. But we've had a few pit stops at the beginning of the third stage, so I've been able to adjust on it. I just made one final adjustment, and unfortunately what I had to do was hurt the middle as the tires wear to tighten up the off, because I need to make some off-track adjustments. I've been going crazy to get these guys a lap down, and with the handling the way it is, it's terrible. But what makes it worse is I forgot the AI, at least in V4 at this track, races the totally opposite of the truck and the Xfinity. Where truck and Xfinity, they like almost always prefer to go low to mid, leaving the high lane open. Whoop. I just took the corner too much. These guys, if you're the leader especially, they go high. They go high on you. And they do it like after you're already entering the turn, so they just drift up. So if I'm trying to, make some time and take the high lane to avoid all the traffic, I end up with a car in front of me, and usually some damage. So I've had to totally adjust my driving style in the last two stages, and I'm going to take it easy this stage because I got everybody lapped down except Joey, and I'm catching Joey because he's in front of me, and I'll put him a lap down and I'll just run it out, because these are ridiculously long runs, like in real life. You get enough gas 170 laps starting out. I can go 171, I figure, at least 170. So I don't plan on pitting for a while, but I don't want to get too much damage. I'll probably be forced into some situations, so I'm not pushing it like right now to run 15.5. Quite happy with 15.7s. Like I said, I did most of the hard work already, and I'm just trying to get to the end here because it is a long race. And I will say, I will talk about the setup, because it's a weird thing, and I've only encountered it a couple of times. I get ideas when people post the setups online, but most of them are qualifying setups. If you see some things, like, hey, I could put that in my race setup and see if it works. And I look for a feel. To be able to do, see, they're all in the high line. They're all 3 lines. Yep. Ooh. Walking, rubbernecking, so we're okay. Anyway, gaggle cars. A lot of on and off exactly what I didn't want to do, I did. And I gotta live with it. Punishment. Oh! Wow. Okay. I added a quarter pound to the left side tires, and I think they're taking all the off-turn speed out of it. But as far as the setup goes, yeah, downside all around. What I was experiencing was it was too loose, but it wasn't just too loose. It was sliding up the track too much. And you know, if you get it loose enough, you're going to deal with that kind of thing, just having no right rear grip. But after I fixed the right rear, what I was feeling was the front end was just too tight. And I noticed the left front was wearing a lot more than the right front. Now if you look here, you'll see the front tires are kind of the same. Well, that took, you know, half the race to get it like that, which helped the handling a lot. But as the tires wear, it tends to make it a bit more unstable. Not necessarily loose or tight, kind of depending where it is. So you have to figure out where you can hit the gas, where you should be off the gas, how to work the traffic, which makes it 10 times harder. Oh, come on, man. It's just so inconsistent in the line. But, so, you know, it takes a lot to figure it out, you know, bumping off the wall and whatnot. Yeah, I spent enough time that you really need to get into a race around other cars in those situations to see what you got. And I thought I had, you know, I had it good enough where I knew I could drive it and be fast enough to win. But I was just trying to get it better. I had it really good the last run. And like I said, I added half a pound, quarter of a pound to the inside tires. Just because it was just a little too free on the long run, because I ran 100 laps. And I should have left it alone. You know, you touch them coming out of turn 3 or coming out of turn 4, and then they lose it in turn 1. I don't quite understand that. So I've helped it. I just noticed I helped it in some ways, but I hurt it in others. Up here, should be able to keep it in the gas over there off turn 2. Turn 4 early, but not late. Like that. But turn 2, I should be able to just nail the gas and go. I waited a little bit. I blipped it a little bit. Oh, somebody else caused a caution. Okay. Let's pit. I'm gonna always pit. I'm faster than all these guys, so to make it a little more even, I will just, you know, hang in there. You know, whatever it gives me, I'll take. You know, so instead of having everybody a lap down or laps down at the end, I gotta race it out. That's totally fine. If I don't screw up and lose it, there's always that. Now mind you, I've already raced coming up on 300 laps already, so, and I used to race 500, I used to race 500-mile races all the time, but I haven't. I've only done a handful of them so far this year, and I'm trying to get back in the swing of that kind of thing. I don't like short races, to be honest with you. And it's so stupid, in a way, because a lot of leagues run short races and I just want to go and beat everybody up. I can probably really fast qualifying type setups that'll last long enough, times 3 or whatever. But that's not where I enjoy it. I enjoy the long race, I used to, love to watch the Coke 600. That was one of my favorite races. And Bristol, man, back in the day, Bristol could take 5 hours. Because you had a lot of caution. The caution took a lot of time. You go around the track at 50 miles an hour or something. And it was hard to clean up, and they didn't have all the help that they have today. They learned from those old days, and as the money came in the 90s, early 2000s, they spent it in the right places. But I enjoy that, I like the things I like about Heat 4 and 5 is the track changes, which is, like real life. I don't agree with how much the track changes with some of the tracks sometimes, but that's okay, especially if everybody has to deal with the same issue. Somehow, by taking those 2/4 pounds out, I have got the car to handle and act and react a whole lot better. That's right. I want to do it cleaner. Get it next to them. And then they know you're there. You make the pass. They slow down. It'd be amazing if it worked like that in real life, but it doesn't. But with the AI, it does. Hear me on and off the gas. Looking at Logano. He wasn't fast early that I noticed. It was Truex and Hamlin and Suarez that I was racing. They're right behind him, but Logano came out of nowhere at the end of the last stage. He's a fast guy, which is fine. Another dumb issue I'm dealing with. I got brand new socks on, nylon socks, and sometimes they slip off the pedals. So, wash them a few times, broke it in. Yeah, that's a block track. If you're a lap down car, and I don't really have trouble with guys racing too wide, as long as you race too wide where you're supposed to race too wide, not, take up 3 lanes when there's only 2 of you side by side. But taking up all 3 lanes when leaders are coming, that happens too much. Started to slide, so lift it, stop the slide, and caught, got back in it. Just like that. Just that fast. Just lasted 2 laps now. Now this is insurance because if there's a caution, most of the time these guys will stay out unless they have to pit, you know, end of a run contact. Which is one good thing about, you know, the strategy is, you know, the AI is not completely screwed. It's just screwed in obvious areas. And some, they look pretty good. It's harder to deal with. I do sometimes, like there, I'm trying to put distance on somebody, I will try to hook the left front on the asphalt, and literally like drag it to anchor it, make it turn, not slide all the way up like I'm doing now on these old tires, old tires. It's probably sliding more because of the nose damage of the tires at the moment. But that's what it does. I'm also not turning in as aggressively. Kind of lazy driving, but make it to the end. I got plenty of laps to put Pagano a lap down. And Suarez and Hammer. Hammer's up here somewhere. He's turning it just a little too much. He wants to get loose. Modulating the throttle. Yeah, if you've ever driven on the highway, you know, it's not that different. If you've ever raced on the highway, it's not that different. I got tagged, but it's alright. Got off at a minimum rear wheel spin to complete the pass. See, I feel it's nose heavy, which is tight in the front. If you look, see, the right front should be wearing more than the left front. So I gotta figure that out a little bit. I have an idea. This is a different kind of setup than I normally run. But it's, funny enough, it's reacting better to some of the setups I made for Bristol. You know, some of the things I would adjust normally, my setups don't work so well. This setup it took to, which turned it from a, basically a qualifying setup into a pretty fast race setup. Unfortunately, Bristol is also a track with 40 cars on it. It is packed, so I can't give you more clearer, faster laps, you know, kind of thing. They're there. There's them. Normally I would have waited. Somebody ever tried that. Buy him there. Eric. 3 laps. Gotta stay high and have to get over it. Burn the gas. quarter lap ahead. See, the thing is, even if I lap Logano, unless I lap him twice, if we have a caution, he'll be back on the lead lap. He's just one lap down. So he'll get the free pass, and he'll be back after racing anyway. So, you know, if I had a more reliable setup on old tires, I mean, it's fast, but I have to drive in traffic, which makes it unreliable the way it is. So I have to work on it. Did it big time, but not enough. Still take a while. Oh! Checked up. Push. Come on. Yeah. Yeah. I got hooked. Now I gotta work. See, they all passed me. I gotta work hard now. 172. I don't have to pit, but more than likely there will be another caution. Oh, well, it's Bristol, and I did it to myself. I'm not hitting the brake when I enter the turns as part of running my line. I hit the brake so it doesn't drift up, which allows me to get on the gas faster. And after a few laps, it pays off. See, start gapping them because they slow down. I will say, you know, I'm a little punchy. But as long as I don't screw up, I should be able to gap until I the end of the field. And that has been my biggest issue, is trying to get through the field. I think what's hurting me too is every time we pit, the track changes. And so I'm trying to, even though I'm not trying to be super aggressive, every time I try to be aggressive passing the lap tower, I'm expecting to do one thing and it's not. So you got to be more patient. You know, a task when you're not feeling well. This is how like what the Infinity and the truck typically work. Yeah, you see McLeod? See, he entered middle and then he moved up high. And for the most part, only the cup cars do that on a regular basis. Yeah, see, Stenhouse did it too. I'm pretty sure they programmed it because I'm the leader. That's what happens the most. And, you know, they're getting out of the way of the leader, which is what you want them to do. But not in the middle of the turn. You know, do it entering the turn. Not when you're already in the turn and switch lanes, because that often ends up bad. I don't remember for sure, but I think they did that P3 also. Touch the wall. Just get next to him. I want to get loose for that reason. This should have no damage. Right? And so I was saying, before I screwed up a couple crosses back, yeah, Bristol's a track where it's, you know, it's very small. You got high horsepower cars relatively. You got heavy gearing, so you put a lot of pressure on the right rear. So typically it's going to get loose on you eventually. Even if you start out tight, you know, you're probably going to end up wearing the right rear. 2% is about max. 1% I prefer is all tracks, but as I mentioned, this setup still needs some work, so we're taking what we can get. I was 12% loose earlier in the race, still able to drive it, but I couldn't get all the moves I wanted. A little bit. But it has a tendency to be nose tight, and I adjusted for it, and I had it better earlier. But front end, as you can see, there's only about a 5-degree difference in temperature, and the wear is, of course, the same, which is better than what I had it, but it needs to be better than that, right? We need to be, for a variety of reasons. It's called front stagger, right? So, you know, you got stagger left and right. You got stagger built into the tires. That's why the tire pressures are so different. You know, starting out, typically in a track like this, the tighter the turns, the more stagger you want. You know, as a general rule, to get through the turns. Well, what's happening here, in my opinion, is it's showing loose, but it's showing loose because my front end is tight. So as I hit the gas, it's kind of wanting to burn the right rear or spin the right rear instead of turn. And that's tight in the front. So I open up the stagger, and as you can see, yeah, there's 1% difference, but that's just not enough, because you see the temperatures are almost identical. And I can do more, but I don't think I'll need to. So 134 laps left, and not having to pit again, there's caution, which there could very well be, but I'm going to leave it alone, because I'm still faster than everybody else on the track. And that's really adjustments I need to make that I can't do in the race. I've maxed out the wedge, and I've taken speed out of the middle of the turn. It's just good enough that it's just, you know, lightening off the turns, which is probably why I'm burning the right rear up. I lightened up the gearing one click, and it gave me a couple of miles an hour of straightaway speed, but it didn't really help me through the turns like I thought it would. but it's probably helping in this race with the right rear not burning off as fast, and helping me to, even though it's not handling right, to drive it, you know, when the tires are warm, instead of spinning out all the time. I can, you know, I'm loose. I can feel it. It's loose off. It's tight in the middle, loose off. Might be even a little tight in because I tightened it up so much. But at the same time, it's drivable, and that's, you know, at the end of the day, it's the most important thing. Fastest drivable car. I can 3 seconds on these guys. So today, it's doing everything I needed to do. Not everything I wanted to do, but everything I needed to do. That's okay too. That's really all you need. But I like to race. I like to maneuver the car. I like it to be the fastest car on the track on old tires. That's what I want. And I kind of have all that, but I don't have the handling I want. You know, I can't one-hand it. I have to drive it. Shit out of it. But that's okay. 21 full stages. Well, I think I did. And we have a great shot of winning this race. Mine to lose. What I was I think we ran the first stage auction 3. But I ran like 115 laps, and my slowest lap at the end, I could still run 6.0 out of the track without damage. Actually with damage, I had damage. So I was very happy about that. I get to get a calculator out and compare it. Driving, keeping it off the wall. 1, 2. If you're driving traffic in New York City, yep, not too much different. Look at them. Look at these guys. You know, this is horrible. There's 3.5 lanes. Yeah, I mean 3 or 4 wide there. So I had to do something. Gas, spin, 240, 220. You know, running slow like that also can mess you up. This game and the E5 both have a stupid quirk. If you run slower, your right rear burns off more. That is just like anti-physics. It should not affect it that way. If you run slower, all the tires should wear less. None should wear more, but right rear wears more if you slow down. How'd I figure that out? Well, if you save gas, you tend to get off the gas earlier, so you enter the turn earlier, and so you watch the right rear, go away. And you're like, why? I'm not using it. I'm resting it, but the game doesn't see it that way. That probably doesn't help. If you notice, running a bit faster, my 240 right rear went down to 230. Welcome to heat 4, 5. Welcome to heat. Drift up. So he drifted up. Well, I know. Yeah, you can see. So I'm 5% loose. What do we got? 170. So 50, 60, 50 laps ago. 50 laps and I'm 4 or 5% loose. And I'm pretty much maxed out. I can make more adjustments, but I know what's going to happen. It's going to handle worse and worse as the tires are at this point. I'm maxed out for what I would do in this race. Race adjustments. I can lower the tape. That would help a little bit. You might not realize that even on a track like this, there is aero, especially on the Cup cars. It's 10 times worse with the 22 cars. But it goes slower and they act differently, but they still are they're even more sensitive to aero. The Cup cars are the most sensitive. 20 or 22 form. And take tape out, it'll tighten it up off. Put tape in, it'll loosen it up off. So I could have taken tape out, but I've been able to drive it. I get to see how bad it gets and I get a caution. And I can, that is an adjustment I can still make. But I'm not going to make it big. I tried even lowering tire pressure on all 4 tires to make it longer to come up to max pressure. A lot of times it can buy you, but that didn't work. Got looser. Probably right where they need to be. Ooh. So it's in full slide mode. Which is annoying. How many laps we got? 98. Excellent. Another 98 laps of this. We had 300 yesterday at Xfinity. You notice right there, I just hit the brakes. Keeps the RPMs up. It was totally unexpected, so I didn't want to hit them. We got nose damage. See, and that 95, I didn't realize it was 95%. That 95, that's probably making me tight. It's probably making me tight off. Well, when you say tighter off, it's probably making that right rear situation worse. Ooh. Caught it, though. Just scraped the wall. Thank you. going middle, but somebody dove under him. So he had to stay where he was. Happens a lot. We'll push it off 4 as the tires break. Especially since I'm sliding anyway. I'm lucky to be able to do that here. 2. Oops. Wow, split up. Definitely more sliding. What I think is a couple of things. Overall, this setup might be much better at night, number 1. Number 2, we're at the end of the race, and you might not think so, but you know those black lines? That's not just for show. That's tire wear. That's rubber. And back in the day, the Goodyear compounds, the rubber left on the track would give the track more grip. So if you had a, I think it's New Hampshire this weekend had rain. When they talk about a green track, typically means a track with less grip. But for the most part, when the rubber compound they're using, from what I understand, at most of the tracks, the more rubber you get on the track, it doesn't always grip it up. It tends to make it looser. So I think that's what we're dealing with the slide. Look at all that. See how I slid? I just slid right up there. Let's go down into it. Not as bad, but you see, it's not as rubbered up. But here it is. It's a little bit slower, it can slide up as well. But you gotta be aware of that stuff. This is about the most rubbered up I've seen any track ever in any of the heats here. Look at that. And it's been like that since the first stage. We had no cautions in the first stage. So that's pretty wild. But I know that's a real thing. You learn a lot when you're friends with guys who had an opportunity to do some beta testing and stuff. There wasn't a lot to talk about that while they were doing it. I didn't. But it helps understand some of the things that you're dealing with. And when people say that, this is just a video game, all digital games are video games. But this is a lot more of a simulation than most people think it is. Just because the physics doesn't work exactly like in real life. I've been on iRacing. The physics in iRacing does not work exactly like in real life. But, it has a reputation, I think, because it's more difficult, more managed, more whatever. But I'll take P5 over iRacing anytime. Not alone for the cost, but I am all about bang for the buck. But to me, more in the Heat series of games works than doesn't work. If there was a dedicated team, like there was at the beginning, to develop the game, then these things, all these quirks and stuff that we've been living with since 2019, more than likely would have been taken care of. And we'd be praising the game instead of cursing it for the same glitch that we're hitting, 5 years in a row now, in both E4 and 5, which is impressive. It's impressive to be that terrible in development, but and that's why the game gets a lot of flack. It's frustrating. I don't want to worry about stupid AI. I don't want to worry about, you know, that, oh, there's a glitch here at this track. Thankfully, this track, as far as I know, I haven't found any glitches per se, except the apron exiting pit road is way too slick. You gotta be careful. I typically just shift up right away. Because, you know, you have so much torque with the heavy rear ends you run here. It's better to... See, I hit the gas and it just went sideways. I mean, it didn't get loose, it just slid off. Almost 2 laps down, so we got Danny's half a lap in front of us. We got 72 laps to go, so plenty of time. See, with the front end tight, if you notice, it tends to need that upper lane when you get off the turn. And when you don't have that upper lane on older tires, it tends to slide up a bit too much. Oh no! Oh, I totally screwed up there. I spun the tires badly and didn't catch it quick enough. Wow. I wish there was more I could do. Damn, that was a good run too. We went 179 to 70. That was 100 laps. I was just thinking about I need to make a speed run if I could. Let's do that. Wow, look at that! All that work. Well, that's what happens, you know. And we're not up to speed between my disease and running these, you know, half-length races for too long, too much. I think we're doing pretty good, but definitely room for improvement. Yeah, I'm tired. Let's get off. So let's try not to have any more mistakes. Bring this win home. Maybe get some, you know, max money for the Xfinity team. I feel like I'm driving my old Firebird classic. Or Sammy Hagar in his Ferrari. And I can't drive 55. Oh, look, another caution. They're not pitting. I'm gonna pit. It's a thing I do. Hedges do that. A little loose. I got maxed out. Some more tape out. is not a bad thing. It's just balance. Gotta figure that out. Now, one of the interesting things about this game, which people don't realize until you race a lot, game cautions speed the race up the length of time. Because you're doing 3 to 5 laps instantaneously. It's only that 30, 40 seconds until everybody pits, and then it's instantaneous. You've done all those laps, setting up, lined up, and ready to take the green. And so even though you get 500 laps and you get a lot of cautions in a race, you know, it tends to go a lot quicker. Bristol now is like Daytona and Talladega. They're not the same length. It's only 250 laps at Bristol. It's a half-mile track, 500, 250 laps, 250 miles. But it takes about the same amount of time to run them, about 3 to 3.5 hours altogether, from green to checker, not including red flags and such. Tires. Again, a lot of feathering. See how they just come up? It must be like your proximity to them that causes them to act like that. And that's huge. That's so annoying. Because it's like literally exactly the opposite of what you want them to do. If nothing else, if you got leaders coming up on you, hold your line. You know, if you're in the bottom lane, stay in the bottom lane and don't drift off. If you're in the middle lane, stay in the middle lane. Don't drift off or switch to the bottom lane. You must tell people, you know. It makes a big difference when you communicate. Keeps the caution down, keeps the racing instead of, you know, rolling around at 50 miles an hour or whatever. Sorry that I made so many mistakes tonight. That's not normal for me, but I will, you know, the whole goal of this, you know, career thing is working on setups and working myself back up to where I was. As I said before, this is exercise for me. And the more I can do this, the longer and the more I can check out. A little slow. Oh, true. Up again. just, when I hit the brake, it just rotated. You're not supposed to hit the brake at that point. I'm in no danger of losing the race, but what if I was, you know, Hamlin and I were on the same lap, and he got by me because of that? Oh! Yeah. Not a fan of the Cup AI at Bristol, but I will suffer through it. I can make these races 50%, but again, I prefer the full experience. Ah! 15 mistakes maybe now. .26 laps. Well, I think I got the audio right again. You would know what I'm saying if I didn't, but I'm not turning the wheel all the way on purpose.